Sinestro is a major player in the stories revolving around the Green Lantern. He himself was a Green Lantern before turning evil and harnessing the power of fear to become a powerful ruler. But what can his name tell us about him? Welcome to Alter Ego, where we dissect the names inside of comic books to uncover their hidden secrets. I'm Scott, and you might instinctively think that all there is to Sinestro's name is that it's clearly derived from Sinister, which basically means something evil, and he was evil, so that's it, there you go. The end. Just another case of nominative determinism where your name decides your inevitable fate. However, there's a little bit more to this that I think is even more fascinating. Let's pick apart the word sinister, tracking its etymological path backwards. So today, we would associate it with something that's harmful or evil, and this has basically been the case for a few centuries, going back to the old French word sinistre, which I'm sure my American accent is butchering. That's not really the point. Sinistre means essentially the same thing. Scary, ominous, that kind of stuff. But its doublet, sinistre, is where it starts to get interesting. Sinistre literally means on the left, with the Latin word that it's derived from meaning the same thing, left or on the left side. But back to the topic at hand. The left hand, specifically, historically being left-handed or even just having things associated with the left side, has been viewed as negative. The word left itself comes from the Anglo-Saxon word for weak, and there are plenty of negative things relating to bad omens and witchcraft, superstitions, and all sorts of things people were scared about back then being tied to the left side. You might say they were fearful of the left side. Get it? 'Cause fear. Yeah. And I'm sure we all know this, but the right side is usually seen as good. Heck, when something is correct, we say that it's right. When someone is good and moral, we say that they are righteous. This bias is ingrained in our language. Look at the word ambidextrous. In Latin, dexter means right-handed. So while the word ambidextrous was intended to mean that one is skilled on both sides, it carries the denotation that means you are right-handed on both sides. Why am I talking about this? I'm sure most of you have guessed by now. If Sinister means left-handed, then Sinestro should be left-handed, right? Or correct? Well, absolutely he is. As we can see from a lot of comics, Sinestro is a lefty. He wears his power ring on his left hand, while other Lanterns like Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, and John Stewart all wear theirs on their right hand. However, Sinestro being a lefty has not been consistent. There are many appearances where the artists draw Sinestro with a ring on his right hand. And I'm gonna chalk this up to the bias again, since studies have shown that 70 to 90% of the population is right-handed and only 10% is left-handed. I think that most people adopt a kind of right-handed standard when drawing a character. Most people probably don't go back and pay attention to handedness, but instead just draw right-handed characters as a default, without really thinking about it. In the New 52, as far as I can tell, Sinestro's left-handedness is pretty consistent, going back to the cover of Green Lantern issue #1 and continuing through Sinestro's own title. Especially this one panel where he shrouds himself in cold yellow light with no spoken oaths and no proclamations of righteousness. It's brilliant, it's poetic, I'm done. What do you guys think? Is Sinestro's left-handedness an important or interesting detail of the character? Are you left-handed? Let's talk about it all in the comments below. And if this is your first time hanging out with us here at NerdSync, we make new videos every week because we believe that asking questions and examining comics beyond the surface can actually enhance your comic book reading experience and make comics just a little bit more awesome. So make sure you hit that big sexy subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Once again, I'm Scott. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys on Monday for another episode of the NerdSync podcast, available on iTunes and SoundCloud. See ya.